Now, our focus on the show today, the feature is looking at the COVID-19 and the impact it has had on made in Nigeria goods. The COVID-19 definitely has raised fresh concerns of the need to look inward in terms of boosting local capacity production, as well as demand for goods and services. More than ever, with the streamlined activities, both home and abroad, calls for increased investment in supporting local capacity has been reiterated. Now, joining me in our Lagos studio to discuss this and much more, I have communications strategist and consultant Akin Fatuke. Good to have you on the Breakfast Show today.
Thank you very much. Nice to be here.
Now, at this point in time where we've seen the gap COVID-19 has created, first and foremost, let's have an assessment of the campaign from the federal government and how much of an investment plan we've seen so far looking at made in Nigeria goods. We've seen some moves by government to restrict importation in areas where we could actually produce locally. At this point in time, how would you assess our reception of made in Nigeria goods and what are the challenges that still mitigate any effort we're making so far?
Clearly, we have come very little, perhaps very late, like Otto von Bismarck would like to put it. Yes, government has tried to change a bit of perception, but has the Nigerian public, our palate, the tastes, moved in same direction? I would say no. The challenges just keeps on being there. For me, Nigeria lost a golden opportunity in 2016. Just about now, as we're going into recession, we had a recession in 2016, and our currency got devalued by about 60%, which ordinarily should have made us to be competitive. We were slow in getting into that. And tied to the situations where we had a large market, the largest economy in Africa, and our market size. Unfortunately, that has just been a trend since 2018. Remember May 18, 2018, when President Clinton of the US signed the AGOA Treaty. It was just 30 items of Nigerian goods that were on the shelf as at that time, compared to, say, Ghana and eventually to Rwanda. Over time and up till now, it's just continued to move on the downward trend. And part of the challenge is basically quality control. Go to the shelves in the UK or in the US, you see our gari made in Ghana. As a matter of fact, quite a number of other countries are now claiming they can make better jollof rice than Nigeria. What really is it that they are doing that we are not doing? So we have weak institutions, and then we have corruption, and most importantly is, to me, the selling platforms that we had. You have the Kongas, you have the Jumia. They are here, but they are not doing the face-to-face interaction. Luckily, on October 1st in 2019, Kenya came on board. They are going to be doing wholly indigenous, made in Nigerian goods. And this is the time for us to move into the next direction.
I can find a button here. Now, understanding the size of our market is quite a huge deal. And for us, we still don't understand how much data is in terms of the numbers that's supposed to pull all of and drive demand. But if we're looking at, in terms of quality control, as you've rightly mentioned, at the end of the day, going back to the phenomenon we've seen so far, buying made in Nigeria goods, there's the situation of what you ordered versus what you got. In terms of quality standards now, what should be the infrastructure, the platforms, the checkmating mechanism to see that we have improved standards across board?
Our SON, Standard Organization of Nigeria, I think my friend Irukera is doing quite a number of beautiful things on consumer protection. We should continue to subject ourselves to it. In 2018, thereabout, the Manufacturers Association of Nigeria came up with a list of made in Nigerian goods. They actually came up with a compendium of list of made in Nigerian goods. They went a step further. Who is making what? And then they had a collaboration with the BPP, Bureau for Public Procurement, and things were moving all in that direction. Came 2019, What did we have? Our legislators are going to be ordering for cars, and they're not going to be looking at the ones that are made in Nigeria over. So our taste palette needs to really change.
It needs to change.
Yes, and most importantly, I think our cost of doing business, which I think the government is working up now,
talking about funding challenges at this point in time now, SMEs remain the engine of growth, looking at driving this campaign or this mantra of made in Nigeria goods. But at the end of the day, we understand that their production inefficiencies at the end of the day, looking at how much a fund they could use to build their capacity. So now, apart from skill acquisition, funding, how critical is this at this point in time? Looking at the fact that we've had interventions from the Bank of Industry, from government to the CBN, and a whole lot more, but that's still not enough to meet the demand we have. We are over 200 million.
Clearly, just stated it clearly. Funding is not only the engine that is needed, but the idea behind you coming for the funding. And you have bankable ideas. The CBN, post-COVID, has put up so many instruments out there. People empowered enough to understand what they need to do the checklists, go in for it. I think more and more communication should come into it. I mean, when we are taking COVID funds from 9% to about 5-6%, that is great idea. I think what should happen with our SMEs is now to get much more boldened, work more on your ideas, cross the T's and dot the I's, and make sure that you are disciplined in all what you are, what you need to do. If Ghana is doing it, and if Rwanda is doing it, if it's happening in Ethiopia, oh, I see, the giant of Africa, Nigeria should do it. We just change our attitude, and the sky will be our limits.
Well, now, going by the market size and demand as well as production levels we have in Nigeria, we've seen quite an uneven ratio. Manufacturing, no doubt, is beset with myriads of challenges, infrastructural deficiencies such as power, the inadequate processing zones and hubs, and also trade facilitation issues. What do you make of our move at this point in time in terms of dealing with skills acquisition and also having infrastructural boosts that would help propel the sector as well, manufacturing sector, to support made in Nigeria goods?
Move in the right direction. In 2018, imported goods accounted for close to about 49%, of all aggregate consumption. And manufacturing was virtually 100% of imported goods. The moves that is now being undertaken by governments welcome development, strengthening local content, our capacity and ability to ease doing business. And most important is what we just talked about, skills acquisition. I dare say that it's very, very important that our SMEs needs to get back on board. COVID-19 or otherwise is now an avenue. It's not all bad stories, because the devaluation and the convergence of the exchange rates is supposed to make the local content and a lot of the things we produce to be very competitive. We missed that window in 2016. Now it's coming back, and I think we need to just put a lot of our thinking caps, acquire these skills. Remember Pitts in 1964 and a work that he did with Pittsburgh in 1967 actually identified the cognitive, the adaptive, and the autonomous stages. What we find in this part of the world is a situation that somebody sets up today, and he believes in 2-3 months, less than a year, he wants to be reaping in all of the dividends. It doesn't happen that way. There will be failure, there will be learning, there will be relearning, and there will be unlearning in the process of ensuring that we get all those necessary skills. You can do that. Get a mentor, do a plan for yourself, be smart in your thinking and the way you have put those visions together. I'm really pleased about what I see that governments are doing, Lagos State government as an example, and some other state governments are also keen to this, looking at this skills acquisition. Go back, get these skills, put the ideas behind you, and I tell you, the money will come.
Well, we have to deal with issues along skill acquisition, also deal with power, deal with our infrastructural challenges, and also accessing raw materials. These are critical elements to support the local industry in Nigeria. And at the end of the day, we would like to see a stronger recovery when the COVID-19 is finally over. Thank you very much for your time on the Breakfast Show today, Ake Fatuke.
Thank you very much. Please try and stay safe, always.
Most definitely.